Kansas City, Chance Myers. Chance, welcome to Red Card, my friend.
Thank you. How you doing?
Very good. Better yet, you must be doing good because you guys are going home for that second leg. How are you guys preparing in these days, getting ready for that second leg? Is it more physical training? Is it more ball movement, Chance? Is it more talking and looking over highlights of that first game?
A little bit of everything. You know, with this extra, week we have in between the games, we kind of have a week to, rest our bodies, yet still, focus on some tactical things. So we're taking this week to really, regenerate and get ready to start pushing next week and get ready for Houston.
Now, Chance, let's talk about that first leg. I watched that, and I got to be honest, that first half was real sloppy, and then the second half, things opened up, and I think the two stars of the game were the two keepers, Jimmy Nielsen, yours, Tally Hall for Houston. They really kept both teams in the game.
Yeah, it's, the way, the field played that day, it was a really hard field, and it just wasn't very pretty soccer. So, anytime you have a couple good keepers, there's things are going to happen during the game where, a quick, deflection onto like a breakaway or something. So having Jimmy back there, he's always in tune. He's always talking to his defenders, and we're always pushing on information to our midfielders. So, it wasn't a pretty game, but we got a good result.
I got to tell you, Chance, and I'll tell you straight up, not because you're on our show tonight, but your back four, Seth Senovic, Matt Beeler, yourself, and Colin, all four of you have been on my show, I think are the four best right now in MLS, and I think it's got to be great looking behind you at a guy that I don't think gets enough respect in his position, Jimmy Nielsen. How comfortable are you going game in and game out to try and win it all with these guys there?
With anybody on our defense or even on our team, Jimmy, he bails everybody out. He's always coming up big. We're going to have, some lapses as a defense, and he's always there. He's always talking to us. He's always ready, and he's always, picking up our slack, so to speak.
I got to tell you, Chance, I got a special place in my heart for a guy who took a lot of grief and stress up here in Canada. I know his daddy quite well, and that is Teal Bunbury. To me, so happy to see this young guy back after that devastating injury, and now playing a big part moving ahead to try to get to the final. Talk about how good it is to have an extra weapon come back from an injury like that.
It's huge. Teal has something that a lot of guys don't have, and it's that physical attribute, that speed and that power, and he's able to stretch defenses, and that's something, we lacked a little bit in the beginning of the year, so to have Teal come back stronger than ever, coming back from his knee injury, it's huge, and being able to have guys like Teal and Claudio and Dom and be able to rotate them and keep them fresh is another story.
It's a big job at hand when you see Ricardo Clark, a Boniac Garcia, Davis, and a guy who I think doesn't get the respect he deserves is Warren Creavalle coming down at you. How are you guys preparing for these four guys who I believe are pretty darn good in that midfield for Houston?
Yeah, not only are they good individually, they know each other's tendencies and strengths and stuff. So we gotta just be tuned into every roll of the ball. And I think that's something we stress every day, just making sure we're always focused on the next play and just go from there.
How key is it that you keep guys in check like a Will Bruin and a Cummings who has been absolutely outstanding, a revelation in these playoffs? We saw what he did against Montreal. We're seeing now how he's playing. How important is it that you guys keep those two in check early on in the game?
It's tough, man. Bruins, he's a big boy. He has a physical presence, yet he's still pretty skillful. And then, Cummings coming in, he has a ton of speed to unlock defenses. Luckily, we have a good defense. We have Beasler who can read the game extremely well, and then Colin can match up with that, that physical side that Bruin can, impose. So we have the best of both worlds back there. We have, the brains, and we have the power and the ability to match up with these guys.
Chance, it seems to me that all the stars are aligning in the right way for Sporting Kansas City this year. It's been an outstanding time in your city with the All-Star game, AS Roma coming there. You've got Team USA players like Graham Zusi, Matt Beeler, making their presence known on the world stage. And your fans have been absolutely outstanding. Do you guys feel the pressure? Do you guys feel the stress and the responsibility that your fans really want to see you guys get to the final and win it all?
We expect that pressure. That's something, we put ourselves in a good position to have, and that's, as long as we take care of business and we take the approach to, we're going to focus on the first 45 minutes of the next game and not look too far ahead. And, we have some of the best fans in MLS that, they're there every game. They're supporting us, so it's huge.
Chance, I got to tell you, there's two guys that are on your bench. I hope they're not pulling you over there, Chance.
That's outside my house.
Okay, well, if we got to let you go, we'll let you go. Everything all right?
Yeah.
Okay. Chance, as I was saying, a couple guys coming off the bench for you guys could start for any team today, and that's Claudio Bieler, CJ Sapong to me. I would even say even Sonny Sad. These three guys are real good to have on the bench come in and really give a spark to your team when needed.
Yeah, it's something we've had in the past, but not to this extent, and that's depth. We have guys that we can put in the lineup based on who we're playing and what needs to, be implemented into a game. So, if we need to unlock defenses, we're going to go with speed. If we need to keep possession, we're going to have another guy in there. So it's something that, we're fortunate to have.
Now, obviously, the weather could play a part in that second leg, and obviously, you guys want to make sure that, you guys are adjusting to that. Are you guys been training continuously outdoors? Are you in the bubble? How has training been going in that aspect?
Yeah, we're outdoors every day, same old, just layer up a little bit. It's not too bad. We've had a couple frost warnings, so we've had to stay off the field until noon, so it dries up a little bit. But yeah, other than that, we both have to play in it, so you can't really complain.
Have you sensed it around the city, Chance, a buzz, an importance of this second leg coming up against Houston for the fans? Do you feel fans coming up to you at the coffee shops and at the restaurants saying, hey, we're behind you, or we really want you guys to get there? Do you sense a buzz?
Absolutely, and they get, so to speak, pissed off just like we do when we lose. So they've gone through the same pain and agony as we have the last couple of years losing to Houston, so they don't want to see that again.
How great is it to play in a city like Kansas City where it's a community team, it's a community club? I look at Kansas City and I think of the Green Bay Packers in the NFL. It's a community team and everyone knows everyone, and the responsibility is huge by the players to make sure they wear that jersey with respect.
Yeah, we all have a ton of pride in our city that we play for. Kansas City's a great market. Fans are so loyal. Regardless if you're doing well or bad, they're always behind you. So we wear our shirt with pride every time we go out there. We know we're representing two states, Missouri and Kansas. So we're just excited to have that fan support day in and day out.
Chance, let's talk about the community at the grassroots level in your area. Obviously, it's great to see today, as I was saying to a lot of people in the last number of weeks, traveling in the USA with my kids. A lot of kids are finally putting on Team USA jerseys, MLS jerseys from different teams. I think that is so great where, for so many years and for so long, you saw, the Messis, the Ronaldos, the Pirlos. Now you're seeing the Graham Zusis, the Bielers, the Landon Donovan jerseys. How great is that to see?
It's exciting, to see the kids looking up to stars that we have in in our own league, our own domestic league is huge. And, not only for a fan perspective, but for the growth of our league, for a worldwide, we have that respect from overseas and players that want to come here and play because they see how well not only the U.S. team is doing, but how strong our league is.
And how great is it when you see a guy like Clint Dempsey come back to the USA to play in a soccer-crazed city like Seattle, and then you see that Pacific Northwest where Portland right now is getting ready for that second leg, really making a name for themselves, not only in North America, but I would say all over the world when you watch those games against Seattle and Portland, Vancouver and Portland. It's crazy.
Yeah, the derbies are awesome. You love seeing fans basically hate the other team. It just creates this buzz, and it creates all this excitement around the game. It's lived up to, and that's the best part.
Let me ask you this before we let you go, Chance. We really appreciate your time. We have a lot of kids that watch our show. We have a lot of youth coaches that watch our show. And a lot of times we try to help them out by giving them tips. And I ask coaches and players when they come on to talk to these youngsters, because a lot of times some of the youngsters lack in confidence, where some might have great confidence, some might not. Especially the ones that are on the bench, Chance, that are not getting the playing time, where that coach is trying to win that so-called $2 trophy and $2 medal. What would you want to say to those youngsters that want to dream one day to be where Chance Myers is? What do they need to do?
When you get your opportunity, just have fun. Don't overthink it. Don't overanalyze things. Just go out and have fun. Because if you're not having fun, then why do it? And that's been my mentality. I have to have fun every day I step out on the field. I'm taking it serious. I work my butt off every day. But at the same time, you have to have fun.
What word of advice, Chance, would you give me as a parent and parents out there that have kids in the game that we love so much, especially on that ride home? A lot of times, Chance, I'll tell you straight up, I'll give my son praise, but I've also got to give him heat after a loss or a bad play. What would you say to those parents that a lot of times are tough on their kids on that ride home after that game?
Yeah, a lot of times I think it's a good idea. If the kid's talking about it, you can talk to him with it. But if he wants to be quiet about it, just let him be quiet about it because he's overthinking things, and you don't want to get too far inside of his head.
You're bang on. And what would you say today, a Chance, in the game in North America? How important is it to have professional coaches at youth academies, youth clubs, really instructing the kids? It's all great to have volunteers, and they are the backbone. But how important is it that if we want to see the USA and Canada advance on the world stage, that they get the proper coaching at those critical ages?
Well, you got to create a professional environment, from an early age, so kids, they stay with it. It's tough because, in Canada and U.S., there's a ton of other sports and different outlets for kids to do. So you got to find the kids that are willing to put in the work, but if they're willing to put in the work, you need to have the coaches willing to do the same thing and willing to be there every day for these kids, not just once or twice a week.
Chance, who do you want to thank before we let you go that believed in you, never gave up on you? Was it a parent? Was it a youth coach? Who stuck by you through thick and thin to make you enjoy a career as a professional player today, traveling all over, staying in the best hotels, eating in the best restaurants, and enjoying this life? Who believed in you?
Definitely my parents. They were above and beyond what I could expect. They were always, not only taking me to my games, but 4 other teammates to my games. So definitely there's parents out there that do above and beyond what they're expected to do, and I just can't thank them enough.
And how great is that after all those long rides, Chance, after all those hours your mom and dad took off for work to take you here and there, that now you can reward them by just playing the game you love so much and making a living at it.
It's pretty special. My parents are fortunate enough to be able to come out and see our games out here at their new stadium, and, they scream just like I was 12 years old still, so it's awesome.
Well, and that's awesome to hear. You're an awesome guy, Chance, for joining us here on Red Card. Good luck in that second leg, and say hi to my buddy, Tio Bunbury, and I wish you and Sporting Kansas City all the best of luck. And again, we thank you so much for taking time out of your life to join us, Chance.
All right, man. I appreciate it.
That is Chance Myers. What a class act this guy is on and off the field. You heard him talk about it. It's going to be an exciting second leg. But something tells me this time around, Sporting Kansas City will get over the hump. They'll get to the final. And I don't know if they're going to play Portland or Real Salt Lake, because I don't think that series is over by a long shot. So to me, I think this is the year of KC. The stars are aligning. And when you hear guys like Chance Myers talk from the heart, passionately about the game and about his teammates, this is what young kids should look up to. It's players like Chance Myers and him being a professional and respecting the jersey, the city, and the game. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and then tomorrow night we're going to tee up a couple guys from Syracuse University joining us here on Red Card. In 2 minutes' time, we'll take a commercial break. Coming back here on Red Card.